everybody and welcome to Music with Meg. I'm Meg and today we're meeting the strings family.
Everybody follow me, it's Music with Meg.
Musical instruments come in all different shapes and sizes. They make different sounds and they're played in different ways. There are hundreds of musical instruments, but some of them are quite similar to one another. So we put these into families, a group of similar musical instruments. There are 5 main instrument families: strings, keyboard, woodwind, brass, and percussion. And we're going to learn about all of them, but for now we're going to focus on the strings family. Now, stringed instruments share a lot of common features. As the name suggests, stringed instruments all make sound using strings. Now, most stringed instruments are made out of wood with hollow bodies, so that when the string vibrates, the sound is made louder, amplified inside the body before going into your ears. Now, stringed instruments have various numbers of strings, usually made from steel or nylon. The pitch of the strings depends on a few different factors. The tension of the string, so the tighter the string is pulled, the higher the pitch, and the looser the string is, the lower the pitch. Now, the longer the string, the deeper the sound, and the shorter the string, the higher the sound. Most stringed instruments require the musician to move their fingers up and down the string in order to change the pitch. Now, stringed instruments can be played in many different ways. Some of them are plucked using the fingers. Some of them are played with a bow, usually made of horse's hair. And some of them can even be struck with the back of the bow, which makes a percussive sound. Now, can you think of any members of the strings family? Let's begin by meeting our orchestral strings family. These are the stringed instruments that are found in an orchestra. The strings section is the largest section in the orchestra. The instruments in the strings section all have 4 strings. Now, the strings are always the same length, but their pitches vary based on the tension, how tight or loose the string is, and the density, how thick or thin the string is. The instruments in the string section are all played in the same way, using a bow made of wood and horse's hair, or using pizzicato with the fingers. The instruments in the strings family are different from each other because of their timbre and their pitch range. Now, the smallest member of the string section is the violin. We've already met the violin before. It has the highest pitch of all of the strings family. The strings of the violin are E, A, D, and G. Next up, we have the viola. Now, at first, the viola looks the same as the violin, but let's get my violin and see if you can spot the difference. Can you spot the difference between the viola and the violin? The viola is bigger than the violin, and as we've learnt before, the bigger the instrument, the deeper the sound. So my viola has a deeper pitch range than my violin. The pitch of the viola is a 1/5 deeper than the violin, which means that the viola has 3 of the same strings, A, D, and G. But the viola has a 4th string that is deeper than the violin, C. Now, because the viola has a lower pitch range than the violin, viola music is written in its own special clef called the alto clef. Now, whereas middle C is here on the treble clef, in the alto clef, middle C is here on the middle line. Now, the next instrument in the string section is the cello. The cello is far too big to be held on your shoulder, so cellists put the instrument between their knees and usually play sitting down. The cello is much bigger than the viola and it makes a deeper sound. The strings of the cello are 1 octave below the strings of the viola. So the cello strings are A, D, G, and C. Now because it has a much deeper pitch range, the cello is written in the bass clef. The cello is the instrument in the strings family with a pitch range that is the closest to a human voice. Finally, we come to the biggest and deepest member of the strings family, the double bass. The double bass is so tall that musicians have to stand or sit on high stools in order to reach the fingerboard. Whereas the strings on the violin, viola and cello are spaced a 5th apart, so there are 5 pitches between each string, the strings of the double bass tend to be pitched a 4th apart. So the strings on the double bass from high to low are G, D, A and E. The double bass is written in the bass clef, but to avoid too many ledger lines, the music is usually written an octave higher than the actual pitch of the instrument. Now some orchestral music uses a harp. The other stringed instruments that we've met change their pitch by moving the fingers up and down the strings, but the harp has 47 strings, all of different lengths. The orchestral harp is played with both hands, but there are foot pedals which adjust the pitches of the strings to allow the player to play sharps and flats. There are many different varieties of harp, each with different styles and different numbers of strings. Finally, we have the guitar. The guitar is also a member of the strings family, but it's not usually found in an orchestral string section. We've already learnt about the guitar in a previous video. There are a whole range of guitar-like instruments in the strings family, including the mandolin, the banjo, and the ukulele. This week, see if you can listen to some orchestral music and identify the violin, the viola, the cello, and the double bass. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel so you'll know when my video comes next week. And if you want to help me make more Music with Meg, then please consider contributing via Patreon or PayPal. Have a lovely week, everybody, and I'll see you next time. Bye!